Now that the Switch Lite has been announced, can we stop talking about it?
So before I rant once more about how this model has been hyped to death by the internet, let's go over the facts. Price, $200. Great price. Launch date, September 20th. Sooner than I'd expect, but it's gonna be perfectly timed for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Screen, 5.5 inches at 720p. When you think about it, that means it's going to be a higher pixel density screen than the standard unit, which is 6.2 inches at 720p. TV. It will not be able to connect to your TV. Predictable. And journalists, stop making the stupid joke about, well, is it really a Switch if it can't switch? Herp the derp! It wasn't a problem with the 2DS playing 3DS games, and it wouldn't make sense to rebrand this as something completely different. The storage will still be the internal 32GB with a micro SD slot for expansion, as expected, and there appears to be no kickstand in the Lite model, which is strange since I would think tabletop mode would be something Nintendo would push with a strictly portable Switch. The processor is supposed to be more efficient, so battery life will be 20 to 30% better. I love efficiency! Headphone jack. Yep, it's got one of those. Detachable Joy-Cons. Nope, not included. But you will be getting a D-pad on the left instead of the circle buttons. Let's hope they fixed the drifting problem and added a pivot to the D-pad. HD rumble and IR sensor. Nope, but you can still pair other controllers to it for multiplayer. Colors, gray, yellow, and turquoise, as well as a Pokemon-specific color in November when the game comes out. Okay, so it's time for a light rant. Newer Switch models have been rumored and speculated on since the original Switch came out. Here we are, more than 2 years later, and we finally get one confirmed. What really irritates me about this whole process is that no one is allowed to be pleasantly surprised anymore. Of course Nintendo was going to make more than one Switch model. They always were. This was never news. Every few months I would hear about, new rumors emerge about a possible new Switch model. I can't just enjoy the one Switch that I have. I have to worry about it becoming obsolete, which, by the way, the more powerful model, which has yet to be announced, was rumored to exist for longer than the Switch Lite. So it looks like all of you rumor mongers were actually wrong. By comparison, the original Game Boy in the US was the only model for sale for 7 years before the Pocket model was released. 7 years! Did game journalists talk about an improved Game Boy that whole time? No, and it was something that reignited the brand because we hadn't been run into the ground by speculation after speculation that meant a grand total of nothing for over 2 years. Okay, rant light over. And I can give you my honest opinion that I will keep separate from my thoughts on how this incubating Switch model has been handled by gaming journalism. I think this is a great idea. The price is right and we won't have to wait long until it's on the market. The features that it has make a lot of sense, especially when you consider Nintendo sells the dock for $70 by itself, I believe. So you're paying $30 less for a more efficient model. Lots of folks don't even use their Switch on a TV, which makes little sense to me, but to each his own, right? So now that the Switch Lite has been officially announced, I think now is the appropriate time to speculate about the more powerful Switch model Nintendo might be working on. If the Switch Lite is a dedicated handheld, and an adorable one at that, and the standard Switch is a hybrid that can be on both the TV and serve as a handheld, then I would not be surprised if the Super Switch model, if you want to call it that, is a dedicated TV-only console. It would make sense since the Switch being a handheld does clearly hold it back from even touching the capabilities of even the base PS4 and Xbox One consoles. And while I don't think a more powerful Switch will close that gap, it still needs to be noticeably better while still being compatible with all the current Switch titles available and yet to come out. And yes, this also means the 3DS platform will be officially dead on September 20th, despite the fact that Nintendo is still saying they will support the 3DS as long as the demand is there. Which, if that's the case, where's the new software you're apparently working on, huh? I won't rant about how mainly other YouTubers have been talking about this for the last 2 years, or how they got mad over inane things like the original Luigi's Mansion getting ported to the 3DS instead of the Switch. Oh no! But I will say this too has been leaked about and anticipated far too much. Just let the system be and let those who enjoy it be.
Alright, I'm sorry, not sorry for the rant. It was just something that I had to get off my chest. I am curious about what you think of the Nintendo Switch Lite. Would you pick this up in addition to the Switch you already have? Or are you one of the 5 gamers who still hasn't picked up a Switch yet, and you've been waiting for a dedicated handheld model like this one? And I'm honestly curious if you, like me, were just irritated by the way modern gaming journalism handled all the speculation on this model. Let me know in the comments, and remember to like, share, and subscribe.